gonna pronounce it Ynglet, spelt with a Y, Ynglet, 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 don't know. This is a game from Niflas, who most famously did the Knit series. Like, if you play a lot of indie stuff, he's quite well known for doing those sort of like, exploration focused sort of Metroidvania games. But like, he did one called Knit Stories, which came with like a really comprehensive level editor. And it was it's one of the few times I've actually sort of enjoyed like tooling around with stuff like that and actually building my own levels and stuff. Did one as part of my university coursework. That's the sort of shit you can get away with when you go to an arts or an ex-poly arts university. But this is, I suppose it is a 2D platformer, but it's very odd because it's it controls as if it's like a top-down view, right? So you have this little sort of squid,
Right.
and
It's
you
like Flow.
move. What?
Looks like Flow.
It does look a bit like Flow.
Yeah, on a very superficial level.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like that.
And you're moving it around freely with the left stick, right? It goes whichever direction you point it in. But so you can move freely when you're inside an object. There's little squares, triangles, blocks, whatever, dotted around, and you can move freely within those. But once you drift outside one of them, suddenly gravity is a thing and you're being pulled down towards the bottom of the screen, right?
Right.
So it's this already sort of quite interesting because you're sort of moving around, but then you're sort of making sure you've got enough momentum to sort of essentially sort of jump between these shapes, right, without just falling off the bottom. One thing that's, again, it's not that interesting, but for some reason it just felt really cool. Like any shape that you can just sit on any shape, and then like a little line draws around it, and that becomes your new save point. Like that's where you'll continue from, which is great because it means
I don't know how do you mean?
So like basically, if you just rest on any shape, and like for like 2-3 seconds,
on the outside of it?
No, inside of any of the shapes.
Okay.
It then just goes right. That's your new restart point. And
Okay,
so
that's
you can
cool.
sort of, if you want to, like, you can challenge yourself to not really use that, or you can, it'll take you a long time, but you can do it on every single shape if you wanted to. It's just the way it just casually just throws in so many interesting ideas, like so quickly. Like every single level, there'll be something that makes you go like, oh shit, okay. You do one level where it's like you sort of, there's like these lines dotted around, and then there'll be like a bit of it be like coloured, like glowing. It's like coloured yellow, right? And if your squid like touches it, you then get transported around on the line, and the sort of the ends of these lines like kind of look like a top-down view of a train station. And so like there are bits of it where it's like, oh, this is kind of like a map, but then other bits where it's just completely abstract and the shapes are just kind of doing whatever.
Right. Okay.
And then there's bits where there'll be like
How much of that do you reckon is actually played for? Do you reckon it is actually played for? Is it your
100%.
brain?
Yeah,
Right.
it totally
Okay.
is. And then there's these like bars where some of them are blue, some of them are orange, or whatever, and you bounce off them. The blue ones you bounce off, but the orange ones you only bounce off if you're dashing. So you unlock a dash like 2 or 3 levels in, where you press and hold the A button, point where you want to go, and it like dashes across. And so you get these sections that are a combination of these bars that you can bounce off, and you sort of having to think, right, if I need to dash to that one, bounce off that, and I need to not be dashing to hit this blue one. That'll bounce me in this direction. Then I need to fall sort of down here, dash again to hit this orange one. Just really fun, just figuring out these little routes. And because it's so generous about letting you retry stuff, you don't it's not too punishing either. I mean, it looks like the visual style is really sort of minimalist, but it works, and the sound design and the soundtrack is just gorgeous. Like it's all like generative, so it's sort of essentially making up the music as it goes along based on like things you're doing, where you're located, speed you're moving at, stuff like that. It's like £4. It's been out on Steam for a while. It's just landed on, I was going to say consoles. It's definitely on Xbox. I can't remember which of the others it's on.
Oh, really? I thought it was. I was just having a look. I thought it was PC only.
Yeah, so it's on consoles now. And I was gonna because I've got it on Steam, but as I always say, I'm a nightmare for actually just sitting down and playing PC stuff. So when I saw it was only £4 on the Xbox, I was like, fuck it, I'm buying it again. And it's just really, really good fun. Have a look.
Does look cool. Sorry, you might have mentioned it, but how long is it?
I don't know. I don't think it's very long. I mean, I've been sort of like rinsing each level as I'm doing it. I mean, I'm an hour in. I think it says I'm already sort of 30% in, something like that.
Okay, but yeah, still, well, for £4.
Exactly.
I thought you were going to say it's an hour long.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, no, that's not bad.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool. All right.
Really like it.
Xbox.